Hello and welcome to the channel. Today we are going to learn how to draft a basic trousers block. The following are the things we will need. To start, draw a right angle using 1/4 of your hip measurements for the width and the length of the trousers or outseam measurement for the height. The width of the line will be the waist guideline, and the length of the line will be the outseam or the length of the trousers. The length measurement I am using for this illustration is 40 inches. So I'll go ahead and measure 40 inches on the outseam line like so. How good or bad a trousers fit on the body mostly depends on the foundation. The foundation starts from the waist to the crotch line, so we will concentrate more on the foundation. After the foundation, the rest is mostly styling. So to create the foundation of the trousers, we need to input our waist to hip measurements. So the waist to hip measurement I am using for this illustration is 8 inches. So from the waist, I'll measure down 8 inches like so. Now draw a line to create the hip guideline. Then we need to create the crotch guideline. So from the waist, measure your crotch depth measurement and mark like so. Draw a straight line to create the crotch guideline like so. Now we need to create the crotch length line. So on the waist, measure and mark 1/4 of your hip measurement. Then on the crotch depth line, measure and mark 1/4 of your hip measurement like so. Then join this mark to the waistline to create the crotch length. Now we need to create the crotch curve or crotch extension. On the crotch depth guideline, measure and mark 1/4 of the width of the trousers. So in this case, 1/4 of 9 inches is 2.25. So I'll measure and mark 2.25 like so. Then from the corner of the crotch depth guideline, go up by 1 inch like so. Join the crotch extension, the 1 inch, and then the hip line like so. Now we need to shape the waist. On the waist guideline, measuring from the crotch length line, measure and mark 1/4 of the full waist circumference measurement. 1/4 of the waist measurement I am using is 6.5 inches. Then I'll add 1/2 inch for that. Again, on the crotch length line, go down by 1/2 inch and mark like so. Join these marks to create the waistline like so. Now look for the midpoint of the waistline to place your dart. The length of the dart I am using for this illustration is 3 inches. So from the waist, I'll measure down 3 inches and draw a straight line like so. Since the amount of dart I am taking is 0.5 inches, I'll measure 0.25 on both sides of the line. Then join it to the tip of the line to create the dart like so. Now we need to create the side seam line. So I will join the waist mark to the crotch line like so with a curve. So now we are done with the foundation for the front part of the trousers. We will proceed to the down part of it. Now to work on the down part, we need to place our knee measurement. So we will measure and mark our waist to knee measurement, which in this case is 20 inches. So I'll measure from the waist 20 inches downward like so. Draw a straight line to create the knee guideline like so. On the crotch depth line, look for the midpoint and mark. Mark the same measurement on the knee line. Then join the crotch depth line to the knee line with a straight line. Extend this line to the ankle line. Now on the knee line, we need to place half of the knee circumference measurement equally on both sides of the line. So half the knee circumference I am using for this illustration is 7.5. 7.5 divided by 2 is 3.75. So I'll measure and mark 3.75 on both sides of the line like so. Now we need to place the ankle measurement. So on the ankle, you measure and mark half of our ankle circumference measurement. So the half of the ankle circumference measurement I am using is 5.5. So you measure half of the 5.5 on both sides of the line. So I'll measure 2.75 on one side, then 2.75 on the other side of the line like so. Join these marks with a straight line to create the leg of the trousers like so. Join the knee line to the crotch line. The front part of the basic trousers is ready. I'll go ahead and label some of the parts before cutting it. Now let's go ahead and draft the back part of the trousers. I will start by drawing a straight line to use as my waist guideline. Please leave about 1.5 to 2 inches margin before drawing the waist guideline. Then draw another line using the length of your trousers to create a right angle like so. The length of the trousers measurement I am using for this illustration is 40 inches. So I'll measure from the waist down 40 inches like so. Now I'll draw a line at this point to create the ankle guideline. Now let's concentrate on the foundation of the trousers, that's from the waist to the crotch line. So to create the foundation, we need to place our hip measurement. So measuring from the waist down, you measure our waist to hip measurement, which in this case is 8 inches. So I'll measure and mark 8 inches like so. Draw a straight line to create the hip guideline like so. Now we need our crotch depth line. So measuring from the waist, we will measure and mark our crotch depth measurement, which in this case is 10 inches. Then draw a straight line to create the crotch depth guideline. Now we need to place our circumference measurement, so we will start from the waist guideline. So on the waist guideline, measure and mark 1/4 of our hip measurement. Then on the crotch line too, measure and mark 1/4 of your hip circumference measurement. Join these points to create the crotch length line. Now we need to create our actual waistline. So measuring from the waist guideline, go up by 1 inch and mark like so. Then extend the crotch length line to this 1 inch mark you just made like so. Then from this point, go in by 1 inch and mark like so. Join the mark you just made to the hip line using a straight line like so. Now we need to create the crotch curve. So you will measure and mark our crotch extension measurement, which in this case is 1/4 of the width of the crotch depth line plus 1 inch. So 1/4 of 9 inches is 2.25 plus 1 inch is 3.25. So I'll measure and mark 3.25 for the crotch extension like so. Now from this corner, I'll measure and mark 1.5 like so. Join the hip line, the crotch extension point, and then the point I just made with a curve like so. Now let's shape the waistline. To shape the waist, we will use 1/4 of our waist circumference measurement plus 1 inch dart. Join the points to create the waistline like so. Then join the new waist measurement to the hip like so. Now we need to place our dart, so we will look for the midpoint of the waistline to place the dart. Now measuring from the crotch line, measure and mark half of your waist measurement and mark like so. The length of the dart I am using for this illustration is 4 inches. So from the waist, I'll measure and mark 4 inches down like so. Join the mark with a straight line like so. Since the amount of dart we are taking is 1 inch, we will measure half inch on both sides of the line like so and join it to the tip of the line to create the dart. Now the foundation for the back part is also ready, so we need to add the style to it. So on the crotch line, measure and mark half of the crotch line measurement. Place the same measurement on the knee line. To get the knee line, measure and mark from the waist down your waist to knee measurements and mark like so. Join the crotch line to the knee line with a straight line like so. Then extend the line to the ankle line like so. Now place the knee measurement the same way we did for the front. That is, you use half the knee circumference measurement. So half the knee circumference measurement I am using for this illustration is 7.5. So you place half the 7.5 on both sides of the line like so. Then you do the same for the ankle like we did for the front. Join the points with a straight line to create the leg like so. I am using dotted lines for the inside of the trousers because we'll be doing some little alteration there. On the inside of the trousers, add 1 inch to the measurement like so. The measurement we are adding here is the same as the measurement we added to the crotch extension. Join the points to create the leg like so. This pattern does not have any seam allowance added to it, so be sure to add all the necessary seam allowances when you are sewing on your fabric or when cutting on your fabric. Again, please don't forget to subscribe, like, share and turn on the post notification bell so that whenever I upload, you'll be first to be notified. Thanks for watching and see you in my next one. Bye bye.